Good morning, everyone. It's Chef Pete. We're going to make crepes today. So crepes are something I grew up with. All the English families had pancakes and we always had crepes. But crepes are nice and thin, nice and quick. And if you've gone anywhere in the world, you've probably seen a crepe station where they've made fresh crepes for you. This is a real popular one when we do it in class. So let's get to it. Let's check out our mise en place. So our mise en place today, it's a lot of preparation. There's not much in everything, but there's some preparation involved in getting everything ready. So we've got flour. I've got some oil to take care of my pan. I'm going to season my pan. So if you recall when we talked about omelets, we had to season that pan. If you don't have a pan like this and you've got a real good nonstick pan, you can always use that. I'm going to show you this way because most of us don't have that beautiful nonstick pan. But you can turn any pan that you have into a nice crepe pan. All right, we've also got icing sugar, okay, sometimes called confectioner sugar, although some would argue that there is a difference. But we're going to be using icing sugar here today. Cocoa, okay, and I'm going to be using these for decoration of the plate, but I'm also using this to make my whipped cream, and we're going to show you how to make a Chantilly whipped cream as well today. I'm using strawberries, banana to stuff on the inside. Here's the whipping cream. So we're actually going to make real whipped cream here today. And this is 35% cream. This is what we use to whip and make it. And basically by beating it and adding air to that to this cream, it thickens up and becomes that delicious whipped cream that we all love. We're going to be using milk for our batter, vanilla for our whipped cream, flour, of course, and some melted butter. So I've just melted this in the microwave real quick. A couple of eggs, and this is the plate we're going to use to plate it up. And so I'm going to do two platings for you. I'm going to do one that's sort of it's crepes in triangles, sort of laid on each other, and the other ones are little rolls, which you may be used to seeing more often. Okay, so let's get ready with our mise en place. So our plan breaks down as follows. Basically, we're going to create the batter because the batter needs to sit for a little bit. So we'll create the batter, move that to the side. Then we're going to create the whipped cream. Okay, so, and then we can leave that on the side. Now, in preparation for the whipped cream, I have taken a stainless steel bowl and I put it in the freezer. Okay, and I'm going to use it. So I'd suggest that you do the same. In the meantime, I've got my crepe pan on a low heat and I'm slowly just, if you recall what we did with the omelets, little paper towel, a little bit of oil, and I'm just putting little layers of oil on here and letting it bake on. And it sort of creates almost like a Teflon type coating on a well-seasoned pan. You can make omelets and crepes and all that sort of thing and really not have any sticking problems. Okay, so I'm doing this all at the same time. So let's review that. We're gonna make the batter. While we're doing the batter, we're seasoning our pan on a low heat. Okay, so we're just getting that pan nice and warm, and we're just slowly adding layers of a little tiny bit of oil just to sort of get it baked on there. Okay, I've got my bowl in the freezer to do my whipped cream, so I'll do that next. And then I'm going to prepare the fillings for my for my crepes, and then we'll just start building these things. So we'll start making the crepes, and then we'll start building them on the plate and then serving them up. Okay, see you in a sec. Now, like I said before, I've been making crepes for years and made them as a child. And then when I got into the restaurant business, I was an apprentice. My first sort of cooking apprenticeship was in a classic French restaurant. So you can imagine how many crepes we made. And we made crepes not only for desserts and crêpe Suzette and that sort of thing, but we also used crepes to almost as a vessel to hold seafood, almost like a seafood stew that we used to bake in cream and cheese in the oven. Just a really nice dish. So I'm going to use a glass container so that you can actually see what's going on in here. Normally I wouldn't follow the recipe, but I'm going to follow the recipe so that you guys see what's going on so that it makes sense. Okay, but normally we would just do this by eye and just make a lot at the same time. Okay, so we're going to start off with the flour, and it starts off with a. Actually, let's go with the eggs first. Eggs, 2 eggs. That's it. Okay, and that's going to be composted. I'm going to beat those eggs. Then what I like to do is take the half cup of flour, put that in there, okay? And I like to move to a wooden spoon first so it doesn't get too caked up. Like that, and try to get that blended. And you'll see what ends up happening is it becomes thicker and thicker and thicker as you mix it. Almost to a paste, and you want to try to, if you can, keep it going so you can kind of see how it gets really, really thick. But if you see any lumps, try to really break those up a little bit right now. The more you do as you go, the better your batter will be, and you won't get little lumps of flour and that sort of thing. Okay, a little bit of salt. I'll get that all mixed up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get the milk in there. Okay, so when I made this as for my kids and even in the restaurant business, I typically went with straight milk. But you can blend this milk down, okay, where you can put some water as well. Okay, so 1/3 milk and 1/3 water. That's it. Okay, so, oh, sorry, I just put that right in front of you. 1/3 cup of milk, 1/3 cup of water, okay? And what we're going to do now is we're going to use that to break this down. And once it gets a little on the thinner side, then I'll move back to my whisk. There we go. All right. So I want this to all be uniform in thickness, all uniform in color, and I want all of those lumps to be gone. I'm going to take my melted butter, pop that in there. That's it. And that's basically my crepe batter. And I want to let this sit a little bit. And what's going to happen is the flour in there is going to thicken the liquid a little bit. If I use this right now, I mean, yes, I could totally use it right now, but the consistency will be a lot better once that flour absorbs some of that liquid, and it'll start to thicken it a little bit. Gorgeous. Okay, so that's, you can see it just sort of coats the side of the glass bowl there. Very nice. Okay, so the next step now is we're going to make our whipped cream. Okay, so the way that we do that, I like to get a little towel on the bottom, just so it doesn't move around. If that towel's a little on the moist side, that's even better, or humid, if you're rather. And I'm going to rinse this off and actually wash it, this whisk. Okay, rinse it and then I'll dry it. Okay, so now I'm going to get my frozen bowl, okay, and I'm going to bring it out, and that frozen bowl just helps to keep all that cream nice and cold, okay, and you want to keep that whipped cream as cold as you can. It's not like the stuff in the can, okay, so the stuff in the can, even though they use real whipped cream on certain brands, it's basically a nitrous gas that helps thicken that up. And if you notice that when you actually spray it out on something, it will often just disappear. Or if you try to put it in a hot chocolate or something, as soon as you stir it in, it just disappears. Real whipped cream will melt eventually, but it gives you a nice flavor. It's not like that, not like Cool Whip or something like that, which is just a thickened oil product, right? So, get my cold stainless steel bowl. This is a 1/2 liter of cream. I'm going to use about half of this, okay? And I mean, it depends. If you really, really like whipped cream, then go nuts and use the whole thing. But you're only going to need half. You don't need very, very much. So Beautiful, maybe a little bit more. And into that, now here's what I like to do. So you can use straight sugar, absolutely use straight sugar. But icing sugar also has cornstarch mixed into it too. So it helps to thicken it and actually helps to maintain it and hold it longer. Okay, so that's why I like to use the icing sugar to do this. So I'm going to use a good rounded tablespoon. When I say good rounded, I mean really good rounded. There we go. Okay, so there we go. Put that in there. Maybe a little bit more. And I'm going to put vanilla in there as well. And there you're looking for about a half tablespoon. Beautiful. And then you're going to start doing the whipping work. So I'm just making little eights into this, okay? And I'm going to keep whipping this until it's nice and thick. If you go too far with whipped cream, okay, so if you're using a mixer, and you can completely use that, not a problem, use a mixer, but just make sure if you go too far, you will turn it into butter, okay? It will actually separate and turn into butter. You're actually going to churn that cream into a butter. So you want to make sure that you just reach that point where it's nice and thick. Now, I'm not going to make you watch me do this, but when we get to the end, I'm going to show you the thickness, and I'll see you in a few moments. Okay, so after the good forearm workout, we've got it. Okay, so see how nice and thick that is? That's exactly what we want. I don't want to go much further because I don't want to turn this to butter. Okay, so remember, whipping cream, that's what you're looking for. 35%, okay? And I don't think you can get 45% anymore. And if you get 18%, you're not going to be able to whip that, okay? So just make sure you've got 35%. That's how much milk fat is in there. So it's that fat that helps to suspend everything and get it in there. So I'm going to take this whipped cream, and I'm going to keep it cold. So I'm going to put it in the fridge for now until we're ready to use it to make our crepes. Okay, so the next piece, we're going to go back to the stove top, and we're going to start making the actual crepes. See you in a minute. All right, we're ready to start making crepes. I see this is nice and warm. I've continued to add a few more coatings of oil, and I will do this every time I do a new crepe. Okay, now you may have, and I'm not going to hide this part from you, but if you haven't used this pan ever for crepes, sometimes the first one will get destroyed and won't be very nice, so you may have a couple of bad ones in there. But what I do is here, you sort of pour it in the center, and then I just bring it around. Looks like I'm going to need just a teeny bit more batter. And I just continue to bring it around, filling all the little holes this way. That's it, and then back on the heat. So in a French restaurant kind of situation, we used to get maybe 6-8 pans, get them all going, and just keep going around. And as soon as you had that nice level heat, so right now I'm just above medium, sort of medium high, and I'm just sort of just cooking it. And what you'll notice is that on the edges of that pancake, I almost called it a pancake, it's a crepe, embedded crepe. You'll see that the edges start to brown and pull away. And in cooking school, they wouldn't let us use any tools to do it. You had to do it with your fingers. I don't know why that tough guy routine existed. It's probably so you don't ruin the crepes. But you can use a rubber spatula, a regular spatula, even a little flat wooden spoon type thing, and if you're a little afraid of it. I'll do it old style if I can pull it off here, and just to show you how quick it is. So basically, you can see the amount of time that we've even sat here. I would have been able to sort of set up 4 more, and then I'd flip. So if you had 10 people for breakfast, all having crepes, and if you think about 10 people and 3 crepes each, that's 30 crepes. So you'd want to get those going quickly, and in the restaurant business, we used to make them by the hundreds. So it's very important to do that. Okay, so I don't see that it's pulling off on the edge yet. Well, maybe a bit more. And like I said, sometimes that first one just doesn't come out very nice. I might get lucky here though, and I have. Beautiful. So just flipping that over, and I'm just trying to get that nice, beautiful design on the back there. That's what we want to see. So I'll do one, I'll do a second one, then I'll cook them all with you on pause, and then we'll go to preparing our garnish for the inside, and we'll start assembling those plates. That's looking pretty good. All right. So there we go. I'm gonna flip that guy over, and I'll just show you that once I get the other one in. So again, I hit it with a little bit of oil, then into here, and you'll see that pan starts to heat up pretty quick. So I may have to lower the heat. I know I do here. And I'm just gonna keep that batter going till it sets, until all the little holes are filled. I'll put that back down like that. Okay, so this is the first side of the crepe, and this is the second side of the crepe, and I want those little brown parts on them. And I'm gonna lay them out so that I can cool them down, because I don't want my whipped cream to melt. Now, for my kids, when they were small, I would just make these nice and hot, and they would put syrup on them and have them like that. But when you're filling them with whipped cream and things like that, you want them to be a little on the cooler side. So I'm going to make all these first, and then I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so the crepes are made. So here they are. I got 5. Some of them were a little big, so I would say that what you've got there for a recipe is going to give you 6 crepes, which doesn't sound like very much, but you'll probably take care of 3 people, no problem with that. But if you want more, just double the recipe. It won't be a big deal. So these are here, and they're cooling, and you can see the beautiful colors that we have on there. They're just, I think that's the nicest part of a crepe, is all those beautiful colors that we get, those browns and those golden browns. We're trying to stay away from the golden black kind of area, but that's what we're doing. So let's prepare our strawberries. What's kind of cool about this time of the year, it's April in case you're watching this later time, almost going into May. These are still coming in from California and stuff, but in early June, we are in season here, and our strawberries are amazing. The unfortunate thing is when you get strawberries in January that are coming from Mexico or Florida or California, is that they pick them not quite at their peak ripeness, and so the flavors and all the nutrients that you would normally get from a nice ripe strawberry just don't exist. So this is really nice. These actually look really, really, really nice, and I can always tell when they go bad quickly, then these are usually good fruit. And you'll see that when you buy strawberries local, they go bad very, very quickly, and that's a good sign. That's a good sign. That means it's real food. Okay, so I'm just gonna prep these up. I've washed them already. Okay, you can usually get some sand and different things on there. I'm just going to cut these into little chunks, and I'm going to throw them into this bowl here. Just try to absorb some of the extra moisture and liquid that might be there. I'm going to try to pick a couple of really nice ones, and those nice ones I want to use for my decoration on my plate. And what I'll do is I'll cut this, but I'm only going to cut it up to the there. I'm just going to cut it up so that I can fan it out, and I'll put that on my plate. Hopefully these nice little green parts are really, really nice too, and those will make that. I've got another bigger one, but I'm going to do this with this one too. And I'm just going to fan that out, and that's going to be my decoration for my plates. The rest of them I'm going to cut up, and those I'll use to go inside and to maybe even decorate the outside of my my plate. Remember, half of everything that you eat, decisions are made right away by when people see the when they actually see the plate. And so it's very, very important that those look good, and you want that. You want a balance of colors, a balance of height, and you want some geometry to your plate. So I'll try to show you. You know what? I'm gonna make one more of these just in case. There we go. So I'm keeping it all attached, but I'm just sort of fanning out that strawberry part. And this, of course, is going to go into my compost, all these little ends. And if I'm super, super lucky, maybe one of those seeds will start to grow some strawberries in my backyard. We'll see. All right, I'll continue that. So cut these, cut these, cut these. So you can see I'm just sort of filling up this bowl here. And I'm keeping some chunks bigger, some smaller. I just want sort of a balance of those in there. There we go. and I think we're in pretty good shape. Now you can fill this stuff with anything that you really, really like. Like I said before, we used to do them with do a seafood crepe, and so you can absolutely make some savory dishes as well as some sweet dishes as well. So I'm going with a classic, the whole flavor of chocolate and banana and strawberry all together will give us something quite nice. So I'll cut that, take that banana apart, and I will compost that as well. Haven't had banana trees come up yet in my garden, but I don't think that they would, given the climate that we live in. All right, so my bananas are all cut over here. My decorative strawberries are over here. My chopped up strawberries are over here. I'm gonna put these aside. I'm going to get my things ready here to start decorating these plates. Here, let's see if we can still see some of that. I'm just going to dry that. Oh, my deepest apologies there. Knock you right over. Okay, so we're going to start off with the first plate here. I'm just going to use this square plate here. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, I think you can see that. First, we're just going to do the basic bundle roll. I'm going to take out my whipped cream now. The other little tool that I've got ready is I've got this, which I'm going to be using for my cocoa and for my icing sugar, just to decorate the plate. I might also grab, you see here, this might be a little pathetic, but I'm going to be grating some of these yeah, I think I'll do that. I think I'll grate some of the chocolate chips on there too. All right, so let's start off. We're going to start off with just the rolls. So easiest way, roll it like this. And what we're going to do is put a little bit of whipped cream on the inside. And we're going to make, it's going to be like a little log, right? So I'm going to take some of these strawberries. Like that. I'm going to throw some banana in there as well. That's it. And I'm just going to roll it up like this, make a little log, and I'm going to pop it onto that plate. And again, like the bread or like all the other things, I always try to keep the seams on the bottom. You don't want the seams sitting on the top. They should always be hidden. So I'm going to put that crossways like that. And then I'm going to do a second one of those. If I can actually get it. There we go. All right. So I'm going to get some whipped cream on there. That's it. And then we're going to throw some strawberries in there like that. Some banana. And then going to roll that up like that and put that crossways on this plate. Now I'm trying to stay off those edges. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to throw a couple of these little strawberries. Oops. Yeah, even if one falls off, that's cool. No problemo. And just to give us some accent there, I'm going to use a little dollop of whipped cream like that. And if you had at home piping bag with a nice star tip, you can make a beautiful little thing there too. I'm going to take some of these little, ideal if I had a big chocolate bar or something like that, decent chocolate, I would grate that instead. But let's see what we can do here. Yeah, this is pretty pathetic, but here we go. Yeah, it works. It works. Gives us the accent. Beautiful. A little bit of chocolate there. Good. And we'll throw one of those little things here, maybe one more little chocolate chip up there like that. And then we'll go with, I'm going to take a little bit of this icing sugar. And sometimes I like to do a couple things. Sometimes I like to put, it's almost like snow, and I do it on half the plate. So I almost go with a sort of two-tone look Okay, a little bit of snow on this side. And then what I'll do is I'll go with cocoa on the opposite side. So you've got sort of a light dark thing going on, which is very cool. Okay, so we'll do the same on this side. So I'll spin this around. All right, and I just tap it. I just want to have just a light dusting here. That's it. And that cocoa is just going to sort of balance it out. Now, one of the rules of thumb when doing any plate, and I've sort of, because I was classically trained, it's, you know, never anything on the edges of the plates. And I agree, fingerprints, sauces, things like that. But sometimes with a dessert plate, I don't mind that it actually touches the side. So I'll see if I can turn this up without destroying it here. But you sort of get that kind of an action there. So there's another way to do this as well. So that's the log method. I also like the triangle method. And when I do the triangles, I like to do them in threes. Meaning you've got the whole triangle thing going on. But we're basically going to do the same thing here. I'm going to move this plate just so you can see. I want you to kind of think of, we're only going to fill 1/4 of it. So if you fold this like this and you get this kind of shape, that's what we're going to end up with. But what we're going to do here is we're going to put a little bit of cream in this 1/4, like this. I'm going to put some strawberries here, like that, some banana, like that. I'll fold this, fold it here, then I'm going to pop that onto my plate, like this, okay? And then I'm going to do 2 more. So, let's see what that looks like. Here, whipped cream in the 1/4, strawberries, banana, boom, boom, like that, and then onto my plate, and I'll show you the plate in a second. And I'm getting some good height with this, and that's why I really like the triangle. The logs are nice and everything, but the triangle really, really comes out. And I just realized as I was looking here, I forgot to put my decorative my decorative strawberry on the other plate, but we'll fix that in about a second. So fold once again. Oh, and I lost one, that's okay. And so we end up with that kind of situation. So now we'll start to build this plate up. So I'm going to actually get my beautiful decorative one here. Actually, you know what? Why don't we put the whipped cream first? We'll put a dollop here. And I'll put that decorative strawberry up here like that. Give it some height. Then I'll throw a couple of these guys on here. And I want the nice red side to show up here. I want real contrast. There we go. All right, and maybe one other little point over here. Beautiful. Then we'll do the same with the icing. Okay, and again, I like that two-tone look, so what I'm going to do this time is I'm just going to go half on this side with the white and this side with the chocolate. I always think that looks kind of sharp. Now I checked the garden this morning for any. I was just kind of hoping that I had some fresh mint, and it's not quite grown yet. So, but a nice bit of mint wouldn't be a horrible thing here either. All right, so real light with that, just a real light touch, like that. Okay, and there we go. Okay, and that's the other plate here. I'll do it to you this way. Okay, oops, there I'm losing some. I'm trying to show you. Okay, so there you go. That's what it looks like. I'll put these pictures on Instagram as well so you can see. Anyway, hope you have some good luck with that, and we'll see you soon.